On May 22nd, a popular TikToker based in China told viewers during a live broadcast that Xi Jinping would step down as general secretary in the next 5 years. The streamer went on to speculate about potential successors, suggesting the new leader could be Hu Chunhua. Citing unnamed sources, the streamer added that the chosen successor would be an adopted son of a former boss surnamed Hu. In the chat, some viewers guessed Hu Chunhua, others hoped it would be Hu Haifeng, and a few even suggested it could be Boss Xia. The streamer added that he couldn't have made it any clearer and challenged everyone to guess. The Hu Chunhua mentioned is the vice chairman of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. In the past, there has been speculation that Hu Chunhua might replace Xi as general secretary of the Chinese Communist Party, and possibly also take over the role of the chairman of the Central Military Commission. Hu Haifeng refers to Hu Jintao's son, who currently serves as the Vice Minister of Civil Affairs. The reference to Boss Xia is believed to point to Zhang Youxia, who has recently been rumored to hold substantial military power. After discussing Xi Jinping's potential resignation, the livestream was shut down, and it is speculated that the streamer might have been summoned by the police. Some viewers reacted by stating that it seems Xi's position is becoming weaker, as open discussions about his resignation have begun within the Chinese government. During Hu Jintao's tenure as the fourth-generation leader of the Communist Party, he designated Hu Chunhua as the sixth-generation successor. However, at the 20th Party Congress, Xi Jinping excluded Hu from the Politburo. On October 22, 2022, during the closing ceremony of the 20th Party Congress held at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, Xi personally ordered the removal of former Communist Party leader Hu Jintao from the session. This shocking moment was captured by international media and drew widespread attention. At the time, Xi had control over both the party and the military, and Hu Jintao's faction, the Tuan faction, had been eliminated. Neither Premier Li Keqiang nor Vice Premier Hu Chunhua dared to intervene. The Tuan faction refers to the faction led by Hu Jintao, composed mostly of members with ties to the Communist Youth League. Since Xi Jinping took office 13 years ago, he has established numerous leadership groups, positioning himself as their head, thus sidelining other members of the Politburo Standing Committee. He has yet to name a successor and has largely abolished the post-Deng Xiaoping system, causing significant discontent within the party. Especially after the 20th Party Congress, not only Hu Chunhua, but other prominent Tuan faction figures such as Li Keqiang and Wang Yang were also sidelined. In contrast, Xi's close allies have fully occupied the Politburo. However, just after the 20th Party Congress, a new round of infighting within the Communist Party leadership began to emerge. In October 2023, former Premier Li Keqiang suddenly passed away from a heart attack, sparking an uproar on social media and intensifying the power struggle within the party. At the time, a source close to the military disclosed that Li's sudden death had prompted the anti-Xi faction to make moves to replace Xi and quietly set up a successor. This source claimed that Xi must step down soon for a successor to take over, which has greatly boosted the anti-Xi faction's resolve. Speculation at the time suggested that Hu Chunhua might be the anti-Xi faction's candidate for succession. Supporters of Hu Chunhua believe that if he returns to the core of power, he would continue the steady policies of the leadership period under former presidents Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao, minimizing political turmoil. Although Xi excluded Hu Chunhua from the Politburo at the 20th Party Congress, Hu Chunhua's presence in the Central Committee indicates that his support base within the party should not be underestimated. In April this year, Hu Chunhua visited 3 African countries to implement agreements previously reached by China. Some commentators saw his visit as a sign that Hu is still tasked with important diplomatic responsibilities, signaling his ongoing role within the party's top leadership. However, others question whether Hu Chunhua has the capability to take on such a significant role. Throughout his political career, Hu Chunhua has been cautious, navigating the complex factional struggles within the party. Whether he will be able to take bold steps remains uncertain. There are also rumors suggesting that former Politburo Standing Committee member Wang Yang might make a comeback. During the 20th Party Congress, Wang Yang, along with Li Keqiang, was forced out by Xi. Wang Yang is well regarded among the public for his pragmatic and progressive views, particularly when he served in Guangdong, where he publicly challenged the idea that people's happiness is a gift from the party and the government. This stance was controversial and led to his suppression for 5 years, preventing him from joining the highest echelons of power. Recently, reports have surfaced suggesting that the Communist Party's top leadership held a secret meeting, during which senior officials and party elders pressured Xi Jinping to step down and even arranged for a new leadership team. On May 23rd, independent commentator Citing reported on X that the Communist Party held an unprecedented expanded meeting of the Politburo on May 14th. The meeting was attended by Politburo members, retired or soon-to-retire party elders, senior military officials, and former Standing Committee members. Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission Zhang Youxia gave a 30-minute speech, asserting that Xi's appointed generals had been removed. Cai Shen-kun noted that the meeting's focus was to discuss Xi's partial or full resignation, with some debate over whether to preserve Xi's dignity. Former President Hu Jintao, who rarely makes public appearances, also attended the meeting and expressed support for the Communist Youth League's faction's commitment to Deng Xiaoping's reform and opening up policies. It is believed that former Premier Wen Jiabao also played a key role in organizing this meeting. According to Cai Shen-kun, the top leadership has already reached a consensus to turn the upcoming fourth plenary session into a personnel meeting, with one-third of the next Politburo Standing Committee's members allocated to the Youth League faction. The meeting also addressed how to restructure the Standing Committee and divide Xi's power, revisiting the 9 dragons run the water system, which was used during the Hu-Wen era. The 9 dragons refer to the 9 Standing Committee members, each managing a different responsibility. Cai also revealed that the fourth plenary session of the Central Committee is scheduled for August 27th to 30th in Beijing, although the official announcement of the date has yet to be made by the party. On May 20th, former Chinese Navy Lieutenant Colonel Yao Cheng posted on X, also corroborating the May 14th meeting. Yao Cheng's information closely matches what independent commentator Cai Shen-kun reported. Recently, rumors have circulated that Xi Jinping has lost control of the military and that authority within the party is weakening. Some even speculate that she may be forced from power. At the same time, state media unexpectedly published important directives from former leader Hu Jintao, sparking further speculation. On May 19th, Chinese state media outlets People's Daily and Xinhua published major articles reiterating Hu Jintao's key instructions to insist on scientific decision-making, democratic decision-making, and rule of law-based decision-making. Remarkably, Hu Jintao's 3 decision-making principles were first introduced in 2004. Now it's appearing in People's Daily more than 20 years later. This unusual move suggested a shift away from Xi Jinping's style of top-down authoritarian rule and towards a more consultative decision-making process. Observers saw this as a sign of leadership changes behind the scenes. On May 1st, People's Daily prominently featured the Communist Youth League, widely interpreted as a sign of the League faction's return to influence. This also raised speculation that Hu Chunhua, with ties to the Youth League, might gain political backing. After the 20th People's Congress, not only Hu Chunhua, but other Youth League figures such as Shen Yueyue were sidelined by Xi Jinping. They were assigned to less influential roles like the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. Their recent increased visibility points to a resurgence of the Youth League faction. On May 21st, Vice Chairman Shen Yueyue of the CPPCC and a Youth League veteran attended the opening ceremony of the 9th Silk Road International Exhibition. He delivered a keynote speech. Shen is known as one of Hu Jintao's trusted allies and held a key position in the party's organization department, where the pace of promotion was faster than Premier Li Keqiang's. Notably, on April 3, 2025, 69-year-old Hu Haifeng, former head of the United Workfront Department, unexpectedly took over as the head of the organization department and also became deputy head of the Central Inspection Team. Hu Haifeng is also seen as a Youth League figure. In April 2002, he was appointed vice president of the Central Party School, while Hu Jintao served as its president. Observers believe Shi's move to the organization department signals that party elders are maneuvering to control the political scene. To dominate the party, they seek both military control and key personnel authority. Many political analysts believe Hu Jintao is working behind the scenes, orchestrating a leadership change. As long as his health permits, has the qualifications to lead. Being the core of the party's 4th generation, he could coordinate with other elders like Wen Jiabao and Zheng Qinghong, and with Zhang Youxia controlling the military, they have a strong chance to unseat Xi Jinping. It was a major humiliation for Hu Jintao, who was publicly sidelined at the 20th Party Congress. Economist and poet Su Xiaohe commented on social media. The fact that Chinese state media suddenly published important instructions from Hu Jintao from many years ago shows there's more going on here. Hu Jintao is already retired, yet they're bringing this back now. Without a doubt, Hu Jintao is making a comeback. Su also said the current leadership in the party is likely under Hu Jintao's influence. The call for scientific, democratic, and law-based decision-making comes from discussions at the expanded Politburo meeting. The focus was on Xi's alleged policy mistakes over the past decade. The Chinese Communist Party's foreign policy is also shifting. China's ambassador to Israel, Xiao Jun, has recently told ILTV News that Hamas's actions are inhumane, unforgivable, and outrageous. China opposes and condemns what Hamas did on October 7th, and this is very clear. On October 7, 2023, the Palestinian militant group Hamas launched a large-scale attack on Israel, prompting widespread international condemnation. However, China had not publicly condemned Hamas until recently. Su Xiaohe said China's sudden 180-degree turn indicates serious internal problems. He said Xi Jinping would never do this himself. It must be Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao behind it. This move completely reverses China's relationship with Israel and is seen as an effort to improve ties with the United States. He said, on the diplomatic front, Iran may also reach a nuclear deal with the United States. The entire Middle East will enter a period of peace and huge development opportunities. Future trade between the Middle East and the U.S. could reach $2 trillion, surpassing trade between China and the U.S. If the CCP doesn't change its strategy soon, it's doomed. The Central Military Commission of the CCP is currently experiencing rare instability in its personnel. China's Defense Minister Dong Jun is reportedly expected to miss the upcoming Shangri-La dialogue in Singapore. This has drawn attention because Dong has served for nearly a year and a half without officially taking a seat in the Central Military Commission. Among the 7 current commission members, former Defense Minister Li Shangfu was dismissed over corruption charges. In addition, Miao Hua, director of the Political Work Department, has been suspended amid investigations. And Vice Chairman He Weidong is also reportedly under corruption scrutiny. Since the start of this year, internal sources suggest that Xi Jinping has already lost control over the military. Since Xi came to power, 79 generals he personally promoted have faced setbacks, at least 10 have been publicly removed or dismissed, and at least 12 more are rumored to be under investigation, meaning more than 20% have fallen from grace. Many have disappeared from public view after being implicated. Due to the opaque nature of CCP politics, these rumors remain officially unconfirmed but cannot be ruled out. Anything is possible. Within the party, especially among senior officials, corruption is widespread. When a faction loses political power, its members are often crushed by rivals. This is no longer a formal anti-corruption campaign, but rather a brutal internal power struggle. Independent scholar Wu Zuolai wrote on May 21st that power reshuffling led by party elders has been brewing for almost a year. Although Xi still holds the title of Central Military Commission chairman, real control of the military may have already slipped from his hands. Ironically, many of Xi's trusted aides have fallen, loyalty has eroded, and Politburo Standing Committee members have abandoned Xi to save themselves. While these rumors cannot be verified at this time, they likely reflect factional leaks ahead of the 4th plenum. Outside observers can only glimpse fragments of the truth, which may be far more complex. If Xi steps down, the CCP will likely return to a collective leadership oligarchy. In the short term, there will be no political strongmen like Mao Zedong or Xi Jinping who stand above the party. However, even collective leadership may not resolve the underlying problems, as it lacks external checks and risks recurring power struggles. Sociology professor Sun Liping at Tsinghua University has said the CCP's so-called collective leadership is a flawed system. He explains, collective leadership, when you break it down, is basically a way to balance power internally when there's no external check on authority. But it comes with obvious downsides. Under the name of collective leadership, a lot of things get bogged down in finger-pointing and delays. In many places, it's actually just constant infighting. Meanwhile, China's economic difficulties are intensifying internal party tensions. Strict lockdowns during the 3-year COVID-19 pandemic, crackdowns on private enterprises, and aggressive wolf warrior diplomacy have weighed heavily on the economy. With the real estate bubble bursting and local government finances collapsing, economic growth has slowed for a prolonged period. Youth unemployment exceeds 50%, and crimes associated with social unrest are rising, further undermining Xi's grip on power. The escalating U.S.-China trade war and ongoing economic downturn have led to frequent wage arrears, worker protests, and strikes across many Chinese regions. These movements face harsh suppression, highlighting unprecedented level of conflict between officials and citizens. Former Chinese human rights lawyer Wu Xiaoping said the CCP is an evil regime with no connection to the people. It acts as a parasite on Chinese society, bringing no positive contributions, but instead disasters for the country. He compared the Communist Party to a heavy stone pressing down on the populace, saying only dismantling the CCP can free the Chinese people. He urged ordinary citizens to disengage and refuse cooperation with the party to bring about this collapse.